Hey everybody, I got a fun one for you today. Today we're creating Android adaptive icons. When you deploy your app, you need to have icons with it. And when you generate the icons using the NativeScript CLI, you don't get the adaptive icons. I'm gonna show you the problem, and then I'm gonna show you how to create those beautiful adaptive icons that can shift with the new Android operating system. That's coming right up. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Alex. And if this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel where we do NativeScript tips, tricks, and tutorials. Today, we're looking at this issue right here that was open, let's see, June 20th, 2018. It's asking for support for Android 8's adaptive icons as part of the CLI. Now the CLI currently creates icons that look like this, and I'm gonna show that to you in a moment. You wanna be able to create icons that look, well, like this. Here's the Android emulator, and we've got this beautiful big Chrome icon, and we've got this phone icon. These are what's called adaptive icons in the new Android OS. All right, so let's get to it. I've created a brand new NativeScript application here, and here is the code for it. Of course, we're gonna be working with the resources here because that's where the icons live. So let's open up the resources folder, and we're gonna focus on Android here, source, and then let's expand this a bit, Android manifest. Okay, so here is where we specify the application and then the icon. This Android icon is pointing to something in the drawable collection, and it's pointing to the icon file. If we take a look at the resources and we look at all the drawables here for the different resolutions, we have XXX HDPI. This is what's actually running on this emulator here, and it's looking at this icon image. All right, so that's what it's pulling in for the icon. How do I know that? I've done a test, and I know that this is in fact the icon that it's using. Okay, so this is, by the way, just a brand new scaffolded out application, and when we deploy this, it looks like this. This is the icon that we get out of the box. Now, when you create your own icon, which we're gonna do right now, here I've created a new Photoshop file, and I've just created a brand new 1000 by 1000 pixel layer screen thing. What is it called? Artboard? I don't know what Photoshop calls them. Let's just do a quick silly icon that's gonna have a background and a foreground. So for the background, let's go ahead and do a gradient of some sort. So I'm gonna do a gradient overlay. That's perfectly fine right there. And for the foreground, I'm gonna do a letter P. Not sure why I'm doing the letter P. That's just the letter that I first hit on the keyboard. That seems to work for me. Let's make it a decent size, like that. And maybe we'll even have a little shadow on it. Okay, this is not an art class. We're just doing a really basic thing here. So there is our icon that I want to have for this application. I'm gonna go ahead and save this as a PNG file. And I'm gonna save this in my app resources, Android, source, main, res. And you really should do all of these, but I'm just gonna do the XXX HDPI because I know that that's the one that's actually gonna be seen right here. So I'm gonna save this and replace the icon that we have there. And the NativeScript CLI is gonna detect that there was a change and automatically rebuild. Let's take a look at what we've got. Let's go over here, and you can see right there, there's our demo app. And we have a little square inside of a white circle. Okay, I guess that could work, but we really want that P to be big, and we want the whole icon to be a big circle, as big as possible, right? That's what I would want. Maybe you like this. If that's the case, you can turn off the video now and you're done. But we're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna show you how to do the adaptive icons. So I'm gonna terminate this process, and under Android manifest, here we have Android icon. That's fine, we're pointing to the drawable icon, but I wanna point somewhere else. Where am I gonna point? Well, I'm gonna create a new folder here. In resources, I'm gonna create a brand new folder called drawable. That's a hard word for me to say for some reason. Any DPI-V26. So any DPI means that this will have data pertaining to any of these resolutions. So we're gonna have two XML files here specifying the icon that we want to use. So I'm going to create one XML file here called IC launcher. Icon and launcher really mean the same thing in Android world. We call them icons, but Android world, if you ever look for documentation on what this is, they call it launcher. That's the launcher image. So iclauncher.xml. This one's going to be used for a square image. And now we need another one that's iclauncher, and this one's going to be _round.xml. And this is going to be for the rounded image, and that's what I'm actually going to use. All right, so we need to fill in this XML. Let me just go ahead and do one at a time here. They're actually going to be both the same, but you could make them different if you wanted to. I'm just going to make them the same for the purposes of this demo. Now, the way these adaptive icons work is you need a background image and you need a foreground image. So we need to separate our layers. The background that I have the gradient is going to be the background image, and then the P is going to be the foreground. All right, so I need to specify these in the XML, and I'm just going to cheat and paste the code right over here from where I had it. So there we go, paste. Just so it doesn't look weird when I'm always looking to the side over here, I'm going to move this cheating sheet over here to this screen as well. Okay, so check it out. We have iclauncher.xml, and here we're specifying a background element and a foreground element for the adaptive icon element. Okay, so this is going to be pointing to the drawable collection, iclauncher background. This needs to be the name of our file, and same thing for foreground. That needs to be the name of our file inside the drawables. All right, so for every single drawable collection or the drawable folders for different resolutions, you need to create these two images, for one for background and one for foreground. I'm just going to do the one for the drawable XXX HDPI, but you have to do this for all of them, okay, if you want adaptive icons on all of them. Now, I'm going to copy the same XML and go to the iclauncher round and paste it in here. We're done with that. Now, you can see that we have these two new files here, iclauncher round and iclauncher, and our Android manifest, this is the main file that points to which icon we want to use. It's actually pointing to the old icon set inside the drawable collection directly. What we want to do is actually point it to those XML files that are going to determine the adaptive icon. So I'm going to paste these in here. iclauncher round and iclauncher is what I want to use. All right, I'm going to copy these from here. And let's find our icon right there. I'm going to replace this one icon entry with two entries. These two right here, icon and round icon. And you have to make sure that this matches the name of our XML files. Right now it does not. So I need to do iclauncher and iclauncher round. Okay, let's look at these XML files. iclauncher and iclauncher round XML. So that's what this is referring to inside of our Android manifest. Okay, we're almost done. We just need the two layers and then we'll be done. So let's go back to Photoshop. I'm going to turn off or hide the P layer for a second, and I'm gonna save this file off as a background. So that would be, I think I called it IC background, maybe, but I'll change it if that's needed. Let's save that off, and I'm gonna also save the foreground, which is going to be our P with the shadow. Let's go ahead and save that as a transparent PNG. Okay, make sure it's got that transparency. So this one's going to be IC foreground PNG. Okay, thank you, Photoshop. You're always very handy, and you may go now. Let's just make sure that I have the files named correctly, and that's in our iclauncher round XML file. So, oh, okay, I didn't name them correctly. They need to be iclauncher background and iclauncher foreground. Of course, I can always rename it here as well. Let's do that. I'm gonna name this one IC background and IC foreground. Okay, I think we're good. Let's just make sure that our files are in there. IC background, IC foreground. Okay, let's try this out. So I'm gonna go ahead here and run this application. But before I do, I just want to clear this out from my emulator. So I'm going to click on this, hold it, app info, uninstall that application. Okay, that's uninstalled. Now I'm going to run it on Android one more time and build this. Let's see what happens. Come on, icon. Come on, give me a nice icon here. Okay, I got a complaint. Android resource linking failed. Resource drawable IC launcher background, not found. Maybe it was a bad idea that I started messing around with the names. Let's go back here and update the names. Let me copy that one, paste it here, copy this one, paste it there. I hate copy and paste errors. They're just not worth it. And let's make sure that our Android manifest actually matches up. So here we're looking for the IC launcher and IC launcher round. Yep, that's good. That means it's pointing to these two. And this one is, that's the thing right there. Okay, so it's actually looking for IC launcher file, and it's looking at the IC launcher here, IC launcher foreground and IC launcher background images, and they weren't present at that time. So I am gonna just rename everything to IC launcher background and IC launcher foreground, just for consistency. The build process does check both of those files. Even though we were gonna use only one of them, it checks both of them. So you wanna make sure that everything matches there. Let's go back. I'm gonna run this one more time. Look at that. Looks like we're past that step where it was checking the files. So we're good to go with there. Now we're just waiting for this to deploy to the emulator. It's installing. And I think I already saw a good icon there. So let's go back home here and check it out. Look at that beautiful, big adaptive icon. And it even animates when you tap on it. So that's pretty cool. And look at that. When you shake it around, when you kind of move it around, it animates that P. So that P is a separate layer from the background, and it can animate it separately, which is, you know, one of the benefits of having these adaptive icons on multiple layers. It's part of the design language of Android. Okay, this is the reason why I have so much hair on my shirt in the video. This guy right here, he's everywhere. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. You okay? Okay. Anyway, yeah, a couple weeks ago, I promised that I'd be giving away swag like t-shirts like this one and stickers to those people that are leaving comments down below. So make sure you leave the comments down below, and I'm gonna send you stuff. If you are in the United States, I can hop over to the post office, drop you a t-shirt, and it won't cost me an arm and a leg. If you live somewhere outside of US, I'm sorry, I'm gonna just have to send you a couple of stickers and something flat and small. And I'm gonna keep this going until I run out of swag. So I started this with the video, Your NativeScript Wish List, and this is where I asked folks to leave me a comment about what they want to see in NativeScript. Jonathan Nungare said, literally copy the INAC framework documentation style or sites like Expo. Yes, the documentation for the NativeScript site is lacking quite a bit, and that's because it hasn't been updated in a while with all the new stuff that's going on. All the new efforts have been really poured into the technology itself to bring that up to date and up to speed. And now that it is up to date, there's going to be significant effort that's going to be put into the site and documentation as well. Jonathan, reach out to me. I'm going to leave an email right here. You can contact me there, and I'm going to send you some swag. And you know what? Since this was the first one and I've got quite a few comments there, I'm going to pick another one. And I'm going to pick Tiago Alves here because Tiago is not only saying he wants to have shadows natively supported in NativeScript, but he made a plugin for it, and he's going to work on integrating it and doing a pull request to the framework with shadows. Thank you so much, Tiago. That is awesome. Folks like you keep community projects alive. I'm going to send you some stuff as well. Thanks everybody for leaving the comments down below. Let's continue with the video. So there we go. There's our big, beautiful round icon, and it's adaptive. And I hope this helps you use that. And if you came across this issue, now you know how to do it. Folks, if you are not subscribed yet to this channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. Go ahead and do that now. It's right next to the like button, which you can also click. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.